Hey there everyone, welcome back to Ionan's Edge. I'm finally doing my review on the TRM Three Rivers Manufacturing USA made Shadow. So the specs on this knife, we have CPM 20 CV blade. See if we can get that to show up there. Come on, baby. There it is. 20 CV blade, stone washed, flat grind, pretty thin behind the edge. We have 3 1/8 inches of usable cutting edge. We've got machined G10 scales that are 4 1/8 inches long. It has all tie hardware and nested tie liners, including the clip. It uses an access lock, which they actually call a river lock at TRM. And we have a tip to tail length of 7 3/4 inches and a weight of 3.75 ounces. So there's no secret that I'm a fan of TRM knives. I own 2 of their other knives, a Neutron 2 and an Atom. Both of those knives on their own are excellent, exquisite, US made knives, quality pieces. The Shadow, it kind of takes that whole thing up a step. It really does. The fit and finish on this knife is spot on. The ergos on it are great in either hand position, this one or this one, whichever you choose. Most people will probably hold it up here, and there is plenty of room back here for people with larger fingers. Also, the front choil on this knife is very, very large. Here I am with my large glove size hands and average size fingers. And look, there's plenty of choil there, right there, no issues whatsoever. Even if you have larger hands, you can be accommodated on this knife. So, excuse me. The balance point on the knife is also excellent. It is literally right here behind the pivot. It's right about where this little point is here at the back of the choil. That makes for a knife that's really, really easy to hold and to use. Excellent. It really is a solidly designed and well-balanced knife. The G10 machining has multiple textures, here up top a little bit, and then obviously down the center. Nothing too aggressive, but it feels good in your hand. And again, it's not just regular hashed out G10. This is machined G10. It's all beautifully contoured and rounded off. There are no sharp spots on this knife that you can feel anywhere. Excellent. The action on the knife is beautiful. You just pull the button and drop the knife and it goes boom, right down there into position, so that's awesome as well. The deep bellied 20 CV stays sharp no matter what you do with it. You'll love the way this knife cuts and holds an edge for sure. I measured it at 22.5 thousandths behind the edge, so it is pretty thin, but honestly, the heat treat on these knives are always really good and they hold an edge for a long time. All the machining on the knife is well done, right down to the pivot. I mean, it's actually got all this fine machining on it that's done so fine. It's really hard to get it on camera well, but it looks gorgeous and it's textured in there really nice. Same thing with the access locks. You can see that they're all stepped machined down. They look great. So again, excellent job with fit and finish. Are there any issues or dislikes with this knife? There are really none, honestly. A couple of things that you might consider a dislike. TRM knives are notoriously hard to get your hands on. They sell out in mere minutes. This knife sells for $279 on their website when it's available. Worth every penny of that money and then some. There are knives that are priced at $300, $400 that aren't as nicely made as this knife right here. Let's do a quick size comparison for you. I'm going to show you the knife I think is the most comparable in this size first. I think the Devo Knives Growler, something that came out very recently, fits right into this category. They're pretty much the same general size knife overall, length and width. The Shadow is just a little bit longer, has a little longer tip, but the blade cutting radiuses of the blade are pretty much the same as far as length. And neither one of them is a super thick knife. Another knife that you might put in this category but is a little smaller might be the Critical Mini. And here, just for comparison's sake, is a wee Roxy right up against it, a lot shorter. So it's not a small knife. It really isn't a small knife. Overall, although there is a full tie version of this knife, I prefer this version. This is the one I really love. This is a fully thought out design from Three Rivers Manufacturing with a usable pocket clip, excellent action, machined and textured G10, good heat treated 20 CV. I love this knife, and I would love to be able to add a knife like this to my TRM collection in the future. If I can get my hands on one, I absolutely will do that. This is my favorite TRM so far. I'd like to thank Cue Ball for loaning me this knife and giving me enough time to actually use it and do a proper review on it. I would highly recommend this knife to anyone who's interested in a TRM knife. This is probably their best knife they offer. All right, folks, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the channel content. Thanks for watching and stay sharp.